Good evening. I'd just like to mention to everyone before we get started this evening, if you would please put your phones on silent. All right, I'll do mine right now, and we won't have to do that. And your watches too.
I got my Timex.
There you go.
Yes,
All right,
it doesn't die. Excellent.
good deal. Would you stand with me, please? Rod Smith, please.
Father, Lord, we come to you thanking you for this beautiful day you've given us. We thank you for our city employees, Father, our firefighters. That you, I pray that you watch over them, protect them. The leaders here, Father, I pray that you will bless them, give them wisdom, Father. And thank you for all that you've done for us. I pray that everyone here today help us be attentive. And Lord, just bless us and thank you for these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Councilwoman Williams, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call to order this regular session of the Vienna City Council for June the 20th, 2022. Let the record reflect that I've taken roll that all members of council are present with the exception of Mr. Azinger, who will be here very shortly. So having a quorum, we will proceed. We have 5 people that have signed up to speak at the public forum this evening. I've noticed there's a couple of new names on here this evening. So just to quickly go over the rules, you get 5 minutes. And so if you would, please step up to the microphone and speak into to the podium and speak into the microphone. Chad Emmerich.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Chad Emmerich, and I am a Vienna resident. Tonight, I am here to speak on behalf of support for the location of the kayak launch and dock to be located at the 12th Street location. I understand that Spencer's Landing was the original location, but believe that 12th Street would be a better selection for various reasons. It offers calmer water and an easier access for potential kayakers. Its proximity to the island is also a benefit, allowing less experienced kayakers some protection from the fast-moving currents while providing a safe point for kayakers to paddle to. Although there was some public concern about the possible location change, I do not believe that there was any malicious intent by the mayor's office or representatives to take away from Spencer's Landing, but after evaluation to place it at a point that would best serve the citizens of our city. I am also here tonight to offer a suggestion that may enhance the use of the 12th Street location for the launch. After discovering that the kayak launch might be placed at an alternate location, Mr. Thomas Pritt contacted me to discuss an opportunity with a ramp and property that he owns on the opposite side of the right-of-way of 12th Street. He would like to see this ramp open once again and provide the residents and emergency services of Vienna with a river access point and to allow the availability of a portion of his riverfront property for public use. As we know, Vienna, unlike Parkersburg, Williamstown, Marietta, and Belpre, does not have a public boat launch. This would be a major asset to area boaters. Although the details would have to be worked out between the city and Mr. Pritt, I am here tonight in the hopes of opening the door of conversation. In closing, I look forward to the opening of the kayak launch and personally believe that this would be a good private-public collaboration to enhance river access for all of Vienna. Thank you.
Tamara Rhodes.
I've got some. I'm here to talk talk about 12th Street again. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but there are some things that I wanted to kind of hit on again. I know Mr. Bibby wasn't able to be here when I presented this, and Mr. Asinger wasn't here at that time either. So I just kind of wanted to go over things. I know some have not.
Excuse me, Tammy, will you put the mic in front of you? I'm having a little trouble here.
I'm sorry. Is that better? Thank you. So this is a plat of the 12th Street property. And a lot of people haven't seen the plat, but I just wanted to show the boundary of that. This number 3 is the parcel or the tract that's being currently sold or is currently under contract. Number 2 is the part 2 acres from the infrastructure part over to the fence that the city will still own. And this is the infrastructure for the sewer and the pump station. Again, I'm kind of concerned. I don't know. I know it's in negotiation. You know, I've been told that. We saw the survey stakes there. I know when it was first surveyed, and I talked about this before, the whole parcel was surveyed in a whole. And that was a survey that was done prior to ACE purchasing this, I believe. Anyway, when that was done, this was evaluated or appraised at $400,000. And how the price for this parcel that was sold to ACE was determined was by dividing the $400,000 by the 5.2 acres, and then that came out, I believe that Mr. Thornton said it was 76,293. I think that was off, because I think it was actually supposed to be 76,923, and then multiply that by 2. But the problem with that is that means that this section, this acre, this one, if it's halved, these 2 pieces of that tract, these 2 pieces of this tract, and this tract, all are evaluated the same. So this building in the riverfront that's on the part that's currently being sold or is in negotiation or whatever, was valued the same as this without anything on it. So I don't think that this was a fair market appraisal, and I'm certainly sure that that parcel, had it been appraised on its own, would have been more than what it was sold for because of the building and because of the riverfront acreage. I ran some numbers. When I did the FOIA for 12th Street, I did get the financial, just the deposits that ACE had done. But I just wanted to kind of show this column over here, this far one, is whenever they had a past due balance still on the books. The second one from the last, it's the monthly payment, and I considered anything over 5 days in arrearage. So anything that was paid over the 5th of the month, I marked it as in arrears. This column is the amount paid and the date paid. And you can see that when OVU took it over, there was a lot of payments that weren't made. And then ACE took it over 1/23/19. Well, OVU lease, it was signed on 3/11/17, but the resolution for council was done on 4/13. So I'm not sure how that happened. But down here, OVU, in the lease agreement, had to pay the past due amounts, and then were credited with what OVU had already paid. So when you look at the next page, I just put some notes on here. The total payments that OVU had made was $12,736. The past due amount that needed to be paid was $20,696. Well, if you look at those two, and if you subtract what was paid and then credited, the effective amount for the OVU lease came out to be $398 a month for the 20 months that OVU owned the property, which really is not a very good business for the city to be in. The Vienna Indoor Aquaculture.
Ms. Rhodes,
Yes.
I'm sorry, ma'am, your time is up.
Okay. Sounds good. All this is on the papers, so you can look at it. I know I wouldn't have time to get through it. So if you have any questions, feel free to catch me after, and I'll ask. I'll answer. Thank you.
Brenda Powell.
Good evening. My name is Brenda Powell, and I'm here this evening to talk about a couple things that are on the agenda. First of all is the second reading on the two ordinances that's got to deal with the group residential homes and the treatment facilities. I spoke with Mr. Skogstad, the city's attorney, in regards to it at the meeting last time. And the thing that caught my interest was that he had said that it's, like a medical, for the treatment centers, a medical facility, which that has to deal with a hospital or whatever. And my question is actually about it being in a residential area where houses are at. I know that there's strict regulations with this, with the Disabilities Act, and I understand that. I just think that maybe it needs to be thought about, and I'll go further to that here in a moment, and about the residential homes, square footage, which was mentioned the last time, and that I have a concern for safety of people that are in our community that have small streets, and, the fire trucks being able to get down the streets with not having room, with a lot of cars being parked. So that is a concern and safety issue, not only for the people that are residing in the homes, but also everyone else in that neighborhood that needs to get a fire truck to their house if they have a fire. I didn't call, but I actually sent a message to Senator Capito in regards to this dilemma and the fact that it's, as far as them being in our community is one thing. It's not an issue for me, especially. I feel that it's fine. It's just we have to look at different things. So I contacted her and I have not heard back yet, but I encouraged the mayor to take and possibly contact their office and describe and discuss a little bit further the issues with our zoning that we have. And I'm sure that we're not the only community that has this, but we need to make sure that safety is always sought first. For everybody. So I just wanted to mention that. The other thing is, let me see, I want to get down here to the financial proposal regarding the pool. I think it's only fair that the people are informed on how this is going to affect them. Like if it's going to be real estate increase on their taxes, or what the situation's going to be. Why I say this is because it's not only that particular situation, but also with the water and sewer lines. If you get bonds for those, they have an increase also for their water and sewer bill. If you get a bond for that, for anything that needs to be done. It just takes thinking about everything and considering the people in Vienna. And that's another thing with the pool itself. I saw today on the news where they're having a hard time getting lifeguards. The kids they hire the kids for lifeguards. And they're having issues across the United States with trying to find kids that will be lifeguards during the summer. And senior citizens are actually stepping up to the plate and being lifeguards for the city. They're paying them to be able to be lifeguards. And some of the pools have actually closed because they didn't have lifeguards. So it's something to think about too at this point. The other thing is this 12th Street property. I want to just mention that all of the stuff that's going on with them, other than the resolution, it did come before council. There has not been anything that I'm aware of this discussion for selling of the property, what's going on with it. Nothing has come before this council for a vote or any kind of information being given to the public either. So I think that's something we need to have. We need to have this for the community. Thank you.
Jack Mathers.
Good evening. I'm here to talk to you about the Freedom Festival. I didn't get on the agenda for tonight. I wanted to speak to you as the time's drawing a little bit close, and there won't be another council meeting before the Freedom Festival occurs. I wanted to come and say thank you for your support for the festival. I would like to tell you a little bit about what it's made possible. Over the last several months, which there's been many nights that have started at 2 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock, because I've decided band people don't sleep. They do most of their business between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning when they're finishing other shows. But at times you sit and you go, my gosh, what have I got myself into? And I've had wonderful people helping me. I mean, I've got a wonderful board that's giving up so much of their time for the festival. I drive down Grand Central and I see the guy walking and I think, what a lucky man. It's been fun. I'm going to tell you some of the quick things that's transpired. One, I was contacted by a lady from Kentucky, and this is exactly what we want for the festival. The lady contacted me and she started asking about the Freedom Festival. She said, I want you to know I'm coming to your hometown. I'm coming to see the Freedom Festival. My family, she said, my sons and daughters love the military and love home free. So we are coming to see them. She said, I want to tell you, we just got custody of our children. And she said, every summer we try to do things with the kids. And she said, this summer is going to be absolutely the most fantastic summer that they've had, because we're bringing them to Vienna, West Virginia. We're staying in a hotel and they're going to be attending Freedom Festival. So they're really looking forward to it. It's a hometown experience. It's here in Vienna. It's really been good to hear people and to see people saying, that's my town, that's my hometown. When people are making comments on Facebook and they say, that's my hometown. It's nice that people can puff out their chest a little bit and brag and say, it's where I'm from. This is where this is happening at. I've been contacted by a lady on a cruise ship that let me know that she would like to meet me. I think it's Vienna, Austria. You know, I hope there's a market in Main Street that we're supposed to meet at over there for photographs. But anyway, what I'd like to tell you is Home Free, we're fully on the radar now for this, the event. I will tell you this is not a cut rate, since it's a non-ticketed event. They are not coming just to put on a little show. They're putting on a full production. The tractor trailer arrives at 7 o'clock in the morning, carrying their equipment. The stage will already be set up. Stage crews of 15 guys are going to be there to unload, coming from Illinois. We had to go out. We had to buy extra wings for the stage because the size of the production. The sound people, the special effects people, the smoke effects people, they're coming with the full show. They just were in Nashville a few weeks ago for the Country Music Association festival that was down there. The Country Music magazine, the Nashville newspaper, listed the top 9 acts that people did not want to miss. The number 3 act was Home Free. It's going to be a thing here. It's not a band that's on a downslide. It's a band that's on the upswing, and they're coming to Vienna. Another thing to be really tickled about is the 249th Army Band that's going to be appearing. The commander that I was talking to, Jeremiah Bennett, wonderful story. He's the commander of the 249th. He's from Williamstown, West Virginia. This morning when I was texting with him, he let it be known that he's excited to be able to come here and be able to perform in front of his hometown, and many of his families going to be there for the 249th. There's a lot of entertainment that's going to be here, a lot happening. We live in a very blessed community. What I can tell you about the fundraising is it was very supportive. It was just a blessing. You know, I do have some friends that when they see me coming now, they go, oh God, there comes Jack Mathers, run. He's probably wanting money or wanting something. So the blessings that we've received are still continuing. Today, Boyd Walker, who's with Walker Equipment, donated a generator that'll be at the festival. Said when he heard it was Independence Day and a celebration through Craig, he wanted to make sure that we had it. The business, it's just unbelievable. Everything that's reached out and continued to reach out. I think we've tried to cover all our bases. I think it's going to be a nice event. There can be some hiccups along the way, but I can tell you that the board, that everybody has really worked unbelievable hours that's been put into it to try to make it a festival that the city can be proud of. So I've got schedules to pass out. I will tell you there's a opening act by the name of Jason Nix, who's the American Music Association Songwriter of the Year that just recently wrote one of the top songs. And he's decided to go out and solo act on his own, and he will be opening at 7 o'clock. Balloon rides, everything's happening, so it's going to be a festival. And I hope you're proud of it. The traffic hopefully gives you a little something to complain about. So have a wonderful, thank you again very much.
Mike Barnes.
Good evening. I'm a longtime resident of Vienna, living on 14th Street. I'm here because we're frustrated and running out of options. I'm hoping City Council can help us. She has some pictures to pass about a couple of properties at 1303, 1305, 11th Avenue in Vienna. The one at 1305 has been vacant for over 30 years. It's got humongous holes in the roof. The windows are out. Animals are running in and out. And we've asked and asked and asked for help, and no one's ever been able to do anything to help us with this. The house next door at 1303 has been vacant for 2 years. It's very deteriorated. The garage, in fact, looks like it could fall any moment. So these properties are a real danger to the community. It's just a wonder that the homeless haven't moved in yet and burned them down like they have several houses in Parkersburg. Maybe the only reason that's hasn't happened is because the police chief lives across the street from us. Several neighbors are here with me tonight. One property owner has really remodeled his house and has it looking nice. He's had a couple wonderful offers on it. People come to look at it. They see those two houses over there, and they say, no way am I moving in here. At one time, the problem was this was a family-owned thing, and the man didn't have a lot of money, so people kind of, the city just kind of overlooked it and said, he's a good old boy, and we're not going to do much about it. Since then, the property has been sold to his daughter, who is a property developer. She has properties in Morgantown and Lewisburg and all over the place. She has the finances to do something. We met with the Planning Commission, Zoning Commission several months ago. She wanted to put quads on it. The Planning Commission and the neighbors voted, and they said they could only put duplexes on it. She was going to do that. It's now been many, many months. No action has been taken. The houses are getting in worse and worse shape. So I know Parkersburg is able to buy houses with community block money and so on and then tear them down. I don't know if Vienna can do that. This lady can afford to have these homes demolished, whether she puts anything else on them or not. But something needs to be done with this. Several people have offered to buy the properties over the past several years, but the owner refused. And now his daughter has them, and she's an Allentown resident. She lives in Lewisburg. So any help you could give us, we'd greatly appreciate it. As you can see from the pictures, they are a real hazard. Thank you for your time.
The minutes from the June 9th, 2022 council meeting have been printed, posted, and circulated. Are there any corrections to the minutes? No objections, and the minutes will stand approved as posted. Before we go into the agenda this evening, I'm going to ask for an executive session to discuss a legal matter. So I'll entertain a motion for an executive session.
So moved.
Thanks.
It's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session to discuss a legal matter. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then I'll call for the question. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion carries. Let the record show that we went into executive session at